Joan, you are the Chief Executive Officer of British Global Tamil Forum. What is its objective?
Our objective is to achieve a politically negotiated settlement that recognises the Tamil community's right to self-determination, that leads to accountability for war crimes and crimes against humanity, that leads to proper rehabilitation and reconciliation and justice for the Tamil community, but for everybody in Sri Lanka. And they are our aims as an organisation that represents Tamil diaspora across 15 different countries, and we work with elected Tamil members of Parliament.
What do you think the British Foreign Secretary is going to do, William Hague, in the coming days?
Well, I think we're at a very important moment now in the history of this dreadful situation. I think it's very positive that the UN Secretary General has now given the panel of experts report to the United Nations Human Rights Council, and we want to see an independent international investigation into war crimes. I think under international law that is the right of victims, that is the right of anybody whose human rights have been trampled on, and undoubtedly at least 40,000 innocent Tamil civilians have been killed in those last weeks of the war. So there is no question that this has been a human rights disaster where there is credible evidence of war crimes. So it is appropriate that an independent inquiry with an international element should take place, and it is evident that the LLRC, the Sri Lankan government's own process, is deeply flawed and is not addressing the issues of truth and justice and accountability. More important than anything is that we have justice, because you cannot have a lasting peace and settlement without justice. And we want to make sure that going forward we have lasting peace for everybody in Sri Lanka. So I want to see the British government and all British politicians support an independent international inquiry into war crimes and to support the panel of experts' recommendations. And I want everybody to do all that they possibly can to ensure that the Human Rights Council of the United Nations is able to secure just such action. Secondly, I want our Prime Minister and others to follow the example of the Canadian Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, and call for a boycott of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in 2013 that's to be held in Colombo, on the grounds that it is wholly inappropriate to hold a Commonwealth conference of that nature, given the Commonwealth's commitment to human rights and humanitarian law, to hold that conference in Colombo whilst these huge issues that completely ignore this credible evidence of war crimes are ignored by the government of Sri Lanka. And thirdly, I want people to be aware of how important all of this is, because it isn't just about the past. There are people now, today, in Sri Lanka, Tamils and others, being made the victim of sexual violence. We've got 90,000 widows, we've got still hundreds of thousands of people who cannot go home, who are held still in transit camps because they've nowhere to go. We've got, in effect, military rule across North and East Sri Lanka. We've got lands being appropriated by the military and schools and people's homes. We've got a huge exercise in trying to create false demographic change to disperse the Tamil population of the north and east of Sri Lanka from what have been their traditional homelands. This is completely unacceptable. The level of violence and the political threat is unacceptable. We need governments to act and to use their influence, and the British government has a particular responsibility because of its relationship with Sri Lanka in the past.
Thank you very much.